Baptists look like liberal-minded Unitarians. Not surprisingly, that kind of upbringing had a real effect on me. It gave me a sense of belonging. It made me accustomed to getting along in a tightly controlled environment. It also taught me that wherever we come from, we are all judged by what we do. After Riverside, I went off to college at Washington and Lee University. W&L is a wonderful institution of higher learning. Nestled in Lexington, Virginia, there is glorious history everywhere you look. Founded in 1796 and endowed in part by George Washington, the school was renamed for the first American president and General Robert E. Lee, who served as the college president until his death in 1870. I wish I could have a do-over. I didn't pay much attention the first time around. College was where I discovered alcohol and girls and the many ways a young man can have fun. I did join the ROTC. After military school, I knew I could handle that. I spent the summer after my junior year at Fort Knox, Kentucky, returning to campus in time for my senior year. Immediately upon graduation, I was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. It was 1959. The Cold War was going full blast, and I was sent to Germany with the 14th Armored Cavalry Regiment. That means tanks. At 22 years old, I began commanding a reconnaissance platoon. Decades later, the whole free world would celebrate when the Berlin Wall came down. I was there in 1961 when the Berlin Wall went up, a physical barrier dividing the communist East from the democratic West. John who? I loved being away. While in the Army, I was out of Bassett, Virginia, in a place where the name John Bassett didn't mean anything to anybody. No one in Germany knew who the hell I was. The German girls found me charming, and I had friends from everywhere. What wasn't to like? My father promised if I quit smoking for a year, he would give me $2,000. The year was up, I was still in Germany, and he wanted to put the money in the bank. No, I said. Send me the $2,000. I took the money, added some of my own, and bought a white Porsche with a red leather interior. In the summertime, the hard top came off and was replaced with a black canvas cover. That automobile was almost an unfair advantage with the German girls. Just 15 years earlier, the German government had been our sworn enemy. Now, many of its citizens seemed to cherish us as their liberators, grateful for how we'd helped defeat the Nazis and set the German people free. They also appreciated that we stood between them and the Russians. Returning from maneuvers late one winter afternoon, one of our tanks broke down. We pulled up to a guest house, our full 30-man platoon. A heavy-set grandmotherly woman said we could leave our vehicles in the parking lot. She got on the telephone, and suddenly 6 other older German ladies arrived. They locked the gates of the guest house and began to cook. We had a huge meal of pork schnitzel, spätzle, and applesauce before we all went off to bed. After an eggs and sausage breakfast, I tried to pay for the fine German hospitality. She wouldn't accept anything. Her son had been in the German army, she said, and was captured by the Americans and held as a prisoner of war. After VE Day, he came back home healthy and happy that the war was over. He was wearing better clothes than when he left me, his mother said. This is for taking care of my son. My time in Germany wasn't all schnitzel and sports cars. The East German Army, backed by the Soviet Union, had watchtowers on their side of the border and a 10-meter strip of land that was seeded with mines. Stationed 20 miles away, my squadron patrolled 90 miles of the hardened border with a forward observation post. We were required to have one officer there at all times. Since I was a bachelor, I ended up with a lot of that sentry duty, staring into the abyss of communism. There was a constant flow of East German citizens willing to risk their lives to escape to freedom. Watching them try was a life-changing experience. I saw a father and young son manage to get across on a motorcycle.